putting so much time into sports. One thing that I'd always knew I'd been good at that I never really put much time into was I was creative. I was good at drawing, and that was one thing I liked growing up. And I was able to try to make a marketing career out of that. And I'm at the point right now where I've been doing marketing internships, and I've built my way up where I'm currently interning with the marketing department for the Washington Redskins. And I think I'm in a very good place to be successful in my career. And it took me a while to kind of notice some of the skills that I may have not been paying attention to while I was so invested in sports growing up.
Yeah, it's amazing. Redskins, way to go. We've got Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio, and Jake Armstrong.
Exciting times.
What an amazing new cast, right? I think the biggest thing for you, though, that I remember growing up is how versatile you were in, like the anti-bullying club. You had the morning announcements, which maybe is tying into some of your marketing stuff too. And maybe some of the external pressures, right, were leading you in a direction where it didn't allow you to fully discover some of your other passions, just given the fact that you were so versatile. And I think that was something I've always hopefully communicated to you that I've always appreciated about you is I was a lot more singular focused. You kind of enjoyed and were good at a lot of different things. And I think that's allowed you to have an easier time finding an identity after sport. And it was great that you mentioned it too, the fact that sport ends for everybody at some point. One of the things that I'll mention that I definitely appreciate just going through this whole process with you, admittedly, sometimes it's a brother relationship, but then I almost feel like a father figure just because of the age gap, right? I'm not 2 years apart from you. We didn't go to high school together. So it's kind of been a little bit challenging, but I've definitely gotten more conscious of just asking the question, is this really what you want to do? Does this make you happy? Because I don't think it was something that myself, mom, your dad had anything other than your best interests at heart. But I just don't know if the question was being asked of you enough, if this was what you actually wanted, to really force you to be in a position where you're thinking, what do I actually like? Will this be something that I actually enjoy? And I think that's the downside of being so busy as well, is we don't really truly get this time to think about how we're actually feeling.
Well, and I agree. And I can think of a lot of instances growing up that I noticed in other people my age and other parents or father figures in the same way, where a lot of times a parent or someone in that sort of position thinks that they know what the kid wants, and they'll push them to be what they think that is, but they'll never really sit back and see that might not be exactly what they want. And I noticed it with a lot of people in sports, especially club sports. I really noticed that there was a lot of people that their parents wanted them to play college sports so bad, and I can only think of maybe a handful on our club team that really actually wanted to. And I think it was a lot of times what the parents wanted, and like you said, there was a lot of investment, and that's not what you guys did. I wanted to do that, but I do see it a lot where it's more forced and it's more of someone else's agenda rather than the kids.
Right. And I think sometimes there's just a wide variety of different factors, and there's a fine line between maybe pushing or trying to provide this environment that's perceived by the parents or the coach that maybe is supposed to be ideal for that person, but your situation, right? We did everything we could to provide you the opportunity to do something, and it actually ended up not being the opportunity that you wanted. Mm-hmm. But because we didn't open up the dialogue and continually ask, the conversation was never had. So I think that's something that I will always take with me through interactions with people that I'm going to be coaching and interacting with in the future, and hopefully my own kids someday.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times I think if you are pushing them in that direction that you think is best for them, you could be sacrificing some other learning experiences and things that they could be focusing on what they actually want to do, and sacrificing valuable time that they could put forth to a situation that they would rather be in.
Right. And I can think back even to my days at Ohio State, where I look at like our recruiting class alone at Ohio State. I think about half of the kids actually finished all 4 years. And I can think of several of them that honestly still struggled to find what they liked doing by the time that they were done with Ohio State. But many of them also were able to dive into their careers much earlier than the people that were doing sports and things were a little bit more time consuming throughout the year. So the fact that you were able to do that at the age of 18, you might have saved yourself 4 years of, hey, when you graduated from college, you still weren't able to figure it out. You might have been 24, 25, 26. So I almost view this whole situation as kind of being a blessing in disguise with regards to how it turned out. One thing to be said, sometimes people go, oh, well, it's quitting, but no, it's not a matter of quitting. It's just a matter of redirecting your focus and really putting your time and energy and efforts into something that you're extremely passionate about now. So with that being said, I just want to put a bow on today. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough for being out, and I'm pumped to see what the next stage of life looks like for you after graduating from Towson this spring.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully I'll come back sometime.
Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I think this episode was tremendous at diving into some of the intricacies surrounding the relationships between coaches, parents, and young adults. It made me certainly much more mindful of how I will do things moving forward. And I hope it will be very, very beneficial to the coaches, parents, future parents out there in terms of helping guide your child in the direction that's best for them.
Thank you for listening to the High Performers Podcast. We want to encourage you to join the conversation, access the show notes, and catch our latest episodes on the website. Please head to highperformerspodcast.com. And if you enjoyed the podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, thanks again for listening.